All right, I want to share 3 stories with you to explain the power of the objective decision making. And just as a recap from the last video, going into this, ideally you want your gut and your data to align. What happens if your gut is telling you one thing and the data is telling you another thing? These 3 stories will help you explain how you manage through the minutia of making a final decision of what to do with a person or a system or a component, money, etc. So all 3 of these stories come from my sales world, specifically in the door-to-door sales world of pest control. So the first story is I had recruited a marketing team to come to Fort Wayne, Indiana and knock doors for an entire summer, basically put on pest control accounts. We had an agreement, they came out, they were knocking, things were going pretty well. And there, for some reason, started to be some level of paranoia that started to come up between the manager, where he felt in his heart that there was something that I was trying to do to sabotage his success. I was trying to prevent him from getting accounts. He felt like I was trying to steal all of his guys. He thought I was trying to not pay him. All of these thoughts were crossing his mind, and he would vocalize them with me. And I would just sit back in my chair, like, where is this? Where's this coming from? Every time I talked to him on the phone, I kept asking him, like, what do you have to back this up? Like, what is causing you to feel this way? And he never had any data. He's like, it's just a feeling that I have. Like, I just feel paranoid and it's paralyzing me and I can't perform. And because I can't perform, like, it's validating my feelings. And I know you're trying to sabotage me. And I was like, holy smokes. And eventually the whole team fell apart and ended up going home before the summer was even finished, about halfway through the summer. And it was a really, really sad thing. It turned out that there were some drugs involved in this door-to-door marketing company that led to some paranoia. But I use this example because it's a really good example of how just following your gut can lead you astray. Your mind can lead you astray, especially as you're put into high pressure situations like running a business, for example. Your mind will start playing tricks on you and your heart will start telling you things that maybe aren't true. And so this is an example of, don't make decisions if your gut is telling you one thing unless you have the data to back it up. So that's the first example. The second example is an example of me running a door-to-door sales team in Atlanta, Georgia. Actually, both of these examples are from the same market. And I had this guy who was just amazing, like seriously amazing. Every time he walked into the room, everyone lit up and smiled, so happy, like such a good attitude. Very, very involved in trainings. He'd show up every day for correlation and like stay late afterwards and work really, really hard. But he wasn't meeting his critical drivers. He wasn't going out and actually performing and getting sales, and he was paid on commission. So he wasn't making money, right? And he'd still just show up happy every single day. About a month of this went by and he was literally losing money, but he was still happy. Like, he was still happy to be there. He's like, I don't care about the money. Like, I'm just happy to be here. And I had an internal dilemma, right? I felt really good about this guy. I felt like this guy was pulling the team forward, and I was really happy that he was there for the summer. But the objective side of it, the data side of it, was telling me, hey, this guy is not meeting his metrics, and I am breaching the consequences that I need to follow with this guy. And that started to wear and be a burden on me as well. So what do I do? Right? And this is the dilemma that we have as business owners. I think we all have had situations like this where we have someone that we know and we trust, who we want so desperately to do well because we like them so much, and they're not, but then they can't perform. What do we do? So I remember sitting down with this person, and it wasn't like I was just saying, hey, you're not meeting your goals go figure it out. Like I did everything I possibly could. I went through, I audited him, I trained him, I held his hand on the doors and showed him how to make sales. Like I literally did everything I could, and I couldn't get him to make an improvement. So eventually I let him go. And I was scared that when I let him go, I would feel sick. And I was scared that the whole team would fall apart because this guy had such good attitude. But here's the surprising thing. What happened is the next day at Correlation, I went in and I was scared, but I told everyone, hey, I let this person go. And there was a feeling of this burden and relief that just like everyone could breathe again. And everyone knew that the data wasn't there and it wasn't a good situation for this person, even though we all liked this person. And the business started, the door-to-door team started to perform so much better as a result. And I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me and how many times I've heard that happen to other people. So that story is designed to share with you, if the data is telling you one thing, but like that you need to take action, that someone's not hitting their critical drivers, for example. So your data is telling you something negative, but your gut is telling you something positive, follow the data. Almost all the time. There are a few caveats, but almost all the time, the data is actually going to be accurate. Third story, same market, Georgia. We had a team member, door-to-door sales representative, who was crushing it. He was a top or second sales rep for the entire region, and he was going out and he was getting tons of sales. And there was this feeling that I had of sketchiness, and feeling of like toxicity that was going on. But I would look at the data and this guy's crushing it. He's meeting all of his metrics and he's actually making me a lot of money as a result. And he's not really doing anything to harm the team. But I started to feel this paranoia, and it was really my gut telling me, go in and dig through the data. Now, if I would have dug through the data and I couldn't find anything, the question is, do I keep him or not, right? But I dug through the data and I found that there was some level of toxicity. There was some backbiting going on, some talk negative about the company, but he was still meeting his goals. And this was a hard decision too, is because it comes to, do I put my why first, or do I put the data first? This guy is actually moving the company forward short term, but if he doesn't align with my why and my culture, it's going to harm it long term. What do I put as priority? And this is my opinion. In fact, you'll find a lot of business owners have totally different opinion about this, but I believe that you should run business with a long-term perspective. Someone is hitting the goals, but they do not align with your why and your culture, and you have the data to back that up, then I would follow your heart in that circumstance. But don't follow your gut and make subjective decisions without the data to back it up. So those are three examples that I have that is really designed to just share with you and help train your mind on, okay, I need to pull the data, I need to do the audit, I need to make decisions based on the data, and then I need my gut to back it up, not the other way around. So now let's figure out, how do we do this for your business? See you in the next video.